Hello, welcome to a quick impromptu video. I'm making this video on the Saxo. It's a bit of an update on some of the engine problems we had with this a little while ago, possibly a couple of years ago now. And I haven't started doing this because I bought battery powered angle grinders and both the batteries have gone flat while I'm welding the car up, leaving me with kind of a bit of downtime. Unplanned, nothing like that. So this is the Saxo, these 1999 Saxo VTR, but with proper engine in it. And if you remember, God, it must have been a couple of years ago now, we were driving up to Alton Park in it. Me, my wife and the kids, we took the BX as well. And this thing got as far as the M6 toll road and then erupted in a cloud of smoke on the side of the road, much to the delight of a local passing truck. There was, well, you have to watch the video. There's a video on that. And then there was a video that follows it up, which was on the rolling road. So the rolling road video basically said, is the thing full of oil and is it all bunged up and clogged up and stuff like that? And I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this engine. There were a lot of comments at the time when we did the video saying, oh, the piston rings would be goosed or blah, blah, blah. Well, I think I haven't answered every question, but I've answered most of them. Let's recap. Okay, so watch the other video first if you have. It's not a particularly long one, I don't think. Watch that one. That goes into detail about what happened at the time, and there will be things I've forgotten, but this one is catching us up to where we are now, okay? So it's not going to make a lot of sense if you haven't seen the other one. Ready? Okay, so in the other video, obviously, I was finding that the engine was leaking a lot of oil, and we found out that it ingested a lot of oil. It had sucked it in, and it was belching. It was so much oil that it was white smoke. In fact, it was so much oil on the side of the road that it locked the engine. It hydro-locked with the amount of oil that was in the combustion chambers. That's how much oil it ingested. Now, that is more oil than would be ingested by iffy piston rings, even if it was pressurizing the crankcase. So something wasn't right. And I think I might have sussed out what happened. So it's still in bits at the moment. It's like you can just, it's in sort of testing phase. But I was going to regret doing that one. I did it right. There we go. So what I think has happened is the system on this car, the original airbox that goes here, has like a little diaphragm in it, like a little, almost like a catch. It's not a catch can, but it's got like a little module which is, it's a separator. It separates vapor from droplets of oil and water, because you will get water in the oil as a result of combustion. It will happen, but it will burn off that each time you use the car and get it up to temperature. That's why it's important to get them up to temperature. Now, I got rid of that because I put an induction kit on it, which I know looks a bit shit, but it's normally covered in a cowling thing, which looks equally shit, admittedly, but looks better than that. The reason I've done this is for two reasons. Firstly, gives you more power. Secondly, it sounds much better. This engine is with the standard airbox on, it just sounds a little bit meh. It just sounds a bit reedy and like meh. This sounds cool and we like it, and it's our car, so do one. Now, the problem is the original setup that I had, in fact, the original induction kit setup had a port here, and it took a feed from this pipe here into here, okay? Now, what was happening is oil was burping out of here and into here. I'm not entirely sure why at the moment, and that's the bit I'm not 100% sure, but I've got some theories. And what had happened is it had filled up the pipe here with oil, because of the unique way that I'd set the thing up. I don't know, is it on the floor anywhere? No. Basically, the breather I had a loop in it, and I'd actually created like a sump as well, like on a toilet. So yeah, it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that had filled this up. So there was oil in here, and at Alton Park, it was dripping out of here onto the floor. It was filling up the case that goes around this. It was an absolute shit show. So what I don't know is why it was burping like that, because there are two ports on this car. Well, actually there's three. There's three ports on the top of this engine. Now, your engine might be different unless you've got a Saxo VTR, in which case it'll be the same. Basically, you have, this is the filler cap. This is breathable because these rocker covers are separate. These are two separate rocker covers. So this is breathable. This can suck air in. It shouldn't let anything come out, but it is allowed to suck air in. This here is also an in. It sucks air in. That is allowing air to come in. And what a lot of people do is put something like these on. Right? There you go. Look, I'll do it for you. Just don't say I don't do anything. Right, so when people put induction kits on, a lot of people do something like that. And what that is basically acting like a miniature one of them. It's stopping shit getting dragged into the engine. Good, it's a good thing. But what's happening is, for some reason, that was burping out again when the engine, well, when the engine was not being, when it's being ragged, but just when it's being driven down the road. So, inlet shouldn't be burping anything out, but it was. Outlet. This here used to be a little bridge pipe that went from here to here. Now this is important. This one is before the throttle body. So this is not in, well, there's an element of vacuum in there when you open the throttle, but not massively so. This one is after the throttle body. So this here, the inlet manifold, is under vacuum. Unless you go wide open throttle. If you go wide open throttle, then there's not so much vacuum. The engine is drawing air to a point, but it's not a vacuum as such. It's slightly, but not like it is with the throttle shut. So when the engine is idling, this is drawing a vacuum out of here. And the idea with that is it sucks, well, it does draw some vapors out, but not much. The point is to put the engine, the crankcase, under vacuum, because that helps it stop leaking. If it's the engine, the crankcase will pressurize when the engine's running to a point, because, you know, some combustion does escape from the pistons, and that there redresses that balance. It puts the thing under vacuum, because if it was under pressure, all the gaskets and things would try and leak naturally. I mean, they will anyway, because it's this, but the gaskets would try and leak. When you put it under vacuum, it sort of encourages them not to leak. Basically, what was happening, I think, is for some reason this wasn't pulling a vacuum like it should. And I also think that this car had done a lot of short journeys over time. It had done a lot of stop-start journeys. It was being used. My wife was using it to drive literally round the corner. It wasn't ideal. Everyone knows that. You're not supposed to do short journeys. But for some reason, this engine held onto a lot of crap. Now, I've had the inlet manifolds, I've had the inlet manifold apart. I've had the rocker covers off it, and I've cleaned everything out. But there was a lot of gunk and shite in this engine, still in there somewhere. And I think what's happened is basically taking it on that long run without that safety net, if you like, of the separator there, allowed it to suck everything that was in that engine into the intake. Now, the oil is not old. I mean, it's not like massively, we will change it. How black is it? It's looking a bit black now, but it's not horrendous. But I think basically the oil was just a bit shitty. There was a lot of short journey crap in it, and the engine had no way of filtering it. So it ingested its own oil. Do you remember also a video where I think it was either that one or the Rolling Road one, where I said I thought it was running a little bit hotter than it used to, and we couldn't figure out why. Didn't make any sense. Running waterless coolant, this one, all the conspiracy theorists will go nuts and go, oh, it's because you're running waterless coolant. It runs marginally hotter, waterless coolant, marginally hotter than normal coolant. I know, because I did the conversion back to back on this, on the dyno. But it suddenly started running hotter, and I thought, is it because I've changed the water pump? Possibly. Different shaped fins, and water pumps these days seem to be made of plastic. I don't know why. Cheaper, I'm guessing. No, I think I found the problem. So the other day, I was admiring the coolant fan system on this car, which I've realised now, stupidly, all these years after I did the conversion, I've realised that it doesn't fit. Because although you've got, I just thought we had an open blade, which was risky, but it doesn't actually fit at all, because you look around the back, there's a gap. So really, this needs a Mark II cooling fan, a proper Mark II cooling fan. This does work, but obviously you run a risk of snipping your fingers off. But anyway, when I was looking at that, I thought to myself, oh, that's weird, the cooling fan doesn't fit. And then I noticed behind it, look at the radiator. absolutely full of oil. And as any fool know, the radiator is supposed to allow air to hit the aluminium core, and there's coolant inside it, and it allows the transfer of heat from the coolant to the core and into the air. If there's a layer of oil between them, it's not going to work properly. In fact, I need to do that before the hosepipe ban kicks in. We haven't got one yet. Round the corner has, we don't, but it's going to be coming, isn't it? So what am I doing with the car? What's the plan? Well, you might have noticed, down there is an oil catch can, which is handily actually labelled as an oil catch can. Now that was not a lot of money, and this isn't sponsored, but that was cheap off Amazon. That is a nifty little piece of kit. I mean, I know it's come from the East, I'm sure it has. That's got a little dipstick in it. Bear with, it's threaded. There we go. There we go, little dipstick, and it's not going to focus. Let's take it outside. Wow, that's good, isn't it? There you go. So there's some stuff on it, but basically what that is in there is there is inside this thing, it's a proper baffled catch can, and it's taking the vacuum from the inlet manifold, is pulling through here, through a filter, and then out the engine. So it is drawing a vacuum on the engine, and I've checked it, and it is drawing a vacuum on the engine, but it's filtered, and it's separating any crap that wants to come out the engine from going into the inlet manifold to prevent this problem happening again. I've fitted a new pipe here which doesn't connect to this at all. So these will remain inlets, if you like. But what I'm going to do is probably get another one of those, because they're so cheap, mount it down here. I might put the filter on it, the little vent on the top to allow stuff to be drawn in, and put a little filter in that as well, and that will catch any crap that comes out of the engine in there. That's what I'm thinking of doing, 2 of them, and that basically, this one is an extra thing, and the one that goes down here will replace the little round doobry bobby thing that went on the original airbox down there. And I think that might sort it. So I don't think the engine's goosed. It makes good power. We put this thing on the rolling road. It's me, isn't it? I put this thing on the rolling road with that air filter on it, which at the time was still dripping with oil. It pulled 132 horsepower, which it always does on the rolling road. When I took the air filter off, took the air pipe off completely. It was just a bare throttle body. It pulled 137. That's pretty impressive. That's a standard engine. But these engines do tend to do that. The VTS 16 valve lumps and 106 GTI lumps, they make more than they say they do. So, what I'm thinking, that filter's now been cleaned out. So I'm going to rig this thing all back up with everything cleaned up. I'm going to clean that radiator first. And then, hopefully, we're going to try driving it to Walton Park again. See, if you see it on the side of the road on the M6 toll, with smoke pouring out the exhaust, you know it didn't work.